can't wait to show these to Dad. He'll hate them. Grandpa, will our Dad be home tomorrow when we get back?
Well, he's a busy man. In a very troublesome job, Tum-Tum.
Was that Grandpa trying to throw some shade here at FBI agent Sam Douglas?
Look, man, I mean, being a bad father himself in the past, I'm sure he knows a bad father when he sees one.
Was he a bad father too? Is that how it goes? And he's a bad father-in-law?
Maybe a bad father-in-law, bad grandfather, bad grandpa.
We need to debate that. We got to get to that. We'll bust that out in a minute. But
I'm glad that he said no. He's a busy man. It's code for, well, he's at an arms deal, kids, and he might die. So it's better to just say that I don't know versus no, he may be alive to say goodbye, say hi to you.
Does he know? I thought maybe he knew, like he's always putting his job ahead of him, and he's like he probably isn't home, but who knows?
Well, it's both. It's like he's too busy. He's too busy, busy for you, but also he might die.
He's a smart grandfather.
So, yeah.
Welcome back to the Last Row Podcast. This is episode 85. If you're
we're
looking
not
for
dead.
We're not dead. We're still here. Well, if you're looking for our website, thelastrowpodcast.com, follow us on Twitter at The Last Row Pod, Facebook, Spotify, head out to Apple Podcasts and Podchaser if you're enjoying the show. Please consider leaving a 5-star review. Thank you to everybody that's left one so far. Welcome back, Badway. I'm happy to see you again through the screen here.
I mean, we're both busy men, and we both have troublesome jobs.
Yeah.
But we will always be there to say hello.
Every
2 weeks.
Back in the day, we might have been bad pod fathers here, but I think
we
right
were
now
terrible pod fathers.
We did not show up. We were sporadically in and out.
Is it?
It was bad.
Isn't Podfather like an ESPN fantasy football guy? Like,
oh no, that's a Pod Vader, I think. Right?
Pod Vader.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were gonna get like gonna have to like delete that for something.
No. Do you remember when? This goes way back in the deep cut for anyone that was listening. Back when we were in that Podern Madness thing, and Matthew Berry blocked me on Twitter because we were going against the whatever his friend's podcast was. I don't even remember this.
It's because he's soft. You did nothing to him.
That's a deep cut there for anyone that's listened to this show for a while. But anyway,
Three Ninjas, 1992, martial arts / ninja / comedy. Directed by John Turteltaub. Do you know John Turteltaub, Drew?
We did one of his other movies before, didn't we?
We did. It's a little movie you might remember. It's called National Treasure.
Yeah. This is one of this guy's first movies, right?
Yeah, so this guy actually did a lot of good movies, Well, good, here or there. Cool Runnings, one of them.
Great movie.
Phenomenon with John Travolta.
It's not bad.
Not a great movie.
It's all right.
Disney's The Kid with Bruce Willis.
I've never seen that.
It's not great. National Treasure, obviously, and National Treasure Book of Secrets.
We still got to do that one, by the way.
Sorcerer's Apprentice,
Not seen that one.
Yeah. So he's done some shit. He's done some stuff,
for lack of a better word.
Couple things. He's done a good couple things. IMDb 5.3 out of 10. It's too high. Rotten Tomato 32%. It's a bit too high. Right. Metacritic 36%. It's too high.
This one might shatter my childhood, man. I don't know.
You turned into like parody John Travolta when we do those. It's a bit too high, or like Bobcat Goldthwait. It's a bit too high. Sorry, it's like 4 a.m. It's like 4 a.m. Sorry, guys. Young siblings, Rocky, Colt, and Tum-Tum Douglas, Drew.
This is going great.
What do you know about Tum-Tum Douglas?
Sounds like a serial killer. Does that sound like a serial killer?
The Douglas kids, the Douglas twins.
Sam and Stan Sweet.
Sam and Stan Sweet. Rocky and Colt Douglas. Tum-Tum Douglas.
This is going great.
The Douglas boys, Rocky, Colt, and Tum-Tum, arrive for their summer stay with their ninjutsu master, Grandpa. who has passed down his vast knowledge of martial arts to the boys.
I'm crying.
He's
right
given
now.
the martial arts knowledge to the boys, Drew. Catch up.
With all the swords and everything.
Yeah. But they're accosted by the criminals. Were they accosted, Drew? What does accosted mean?
I think it's like
officially.
I don't. You gotta Google it. I don't know.
To
I'm pretty
approach and speak to someone in an often challenging or aggressive way. You can't. It's kidnapping is not equal to accosting.
No,
Drew.
Did you have that ready at the fingertips?
I typed it.
Man,
I typed
you're
it.
good.
Whoever wrote this, I got words. They don't have words. By the criminal Snyder, a rogue ex-student of Grandpa's who kidnaps the boys as part of a scheme to get the FBI agent dad, Sam Douglas. But Snyder doesn't know just how skilled his abductees are.
So we got Rocky Colt and Tum-Tum Douglas. And then we got
the Douglas
FBI
twins.
agent dad Sam.
Sam. It's Sam Douglas and Rocky Colt and Tum. You don't have to last name give the freaking nicknames. All right.
Oh my god, man!
I don't know why I get mad at these descriptions. I don't know why. I just get
We're
mad
off
at
to
them.
a great start here. That's all I can say to the listeners here. I'm sorry in advance. Is it taglines? Action at its best! Exclamation point.
Is it at its best?
This movie might shatter some dreams here. And then there was one I just straight up crossed it out, but I'm going to read it anyway. It says Disney's New or a Big Shot, a Bruce Lee for young people, which makes no sense at all.
Was that like the Japanese translation of a poster from Japan?
It might have been, because it might have been translated from some other language.
A Winner Is You, that kind of thing?
It might be. And it's poorly translated. And then there's another one, Coming at You, which
I kind of like it.
Fine. Whatever.
Kind of
right?
like it. It's coming at you.
Nothing.
I
they
changed
could've
the
done
U.
better.
I changed the U for a yeah, you know?
Coming at ya.
Coming at you.
Especially in 92. Like
Yeah.
92, coming at you.
Coming at you.
Financials. Now, I have a couple questions for you on the budget here. They spent $2.5 million. This is estimated according to Wikipedia. What did they actually spend that money on? And they made, by the way, cumulative worldwide gross $29 million. So $2.5 million seems like a lot of money for the type of sets that they had. Like, what could they have possibly used this on?
Probably the futuristic phones that were in the bedrooms of the kids. That's
The
probably
Bluetooth headset?
the most of the money. Yeah, was on that.
The Bluetooth canned headset,
Yeah.
which had 0 strings on it whatsoever. How was that working?
I don't know.
They just used a
Maybe
phone.
we probably spent a cool bill on that sweet light up red-eyed dummy
That was pretty
with
cool.
all the pressure point spots.
That was pretty cool.
And the rest of it was probably I don't know how much does it cost to rent a shipping boat?
Yeah. That boat looked pretty sweet.
It's docked, so it's not going anywhere.
That's true. And they had the Airbnb for Grandpa's house. That sweet cabin in the woods.
Great Airbnb.
I don't know. And $29 million, that's a decent return. I mean, look at that. It's like a bunch of more money.
I think for 1992 and for a kids movie, that's kind of not great. For adults, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
This was Touchstone Pictures, which I didn't realize. Looking back on it now, it makes sense because I was like, wasn't this a Disney movie? And it was Touchstone Pictures, which was the offshoot of Disney.
It's like a secret Disney movie.
Yeah, they didn't want to call it because there was swords and stuff in here. They can't have the mouse, with the swords. Awards. So it was nominated for an Outstanding Young Ensemble Cast and a Motion Picture Young Artist Award in '93. And
very prestigious.
So, by the way, last episode you said, hey, we made this a segment now, so I put it in again, so I guess it's official.
You made it a segment.
It's official.
I'm just along for the ride.
It's official. But let me tell you who they lost out to, because normally like this wasn't that funny of an award. It's just kind of a whatever. But there's a couple. So other movies that were nominated were The Newsies with Christian Bale and a whole bunch of other people.
I like it.
Ladybugs with Jonathan Brandis and a bunch of other people.
Love that movie. Love it.
Mighty Ducks episode.
Great,
what is
obviously.
it? Episode 1 of our show.
How do you not know our first episode?
I forgot.
How do you not know?
It's been like 6 years at this point, where we had off for 3 years.
It is 1. Everyone, if you're listening, don't listen to it. It's probably
Go
terrible.
back. It's probably bad. And then they lost to Hook, which I got to give that. The Lost Boys, you got to give that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan of Ladybugs myself.
I've never actually seen that.
I would have given the Young Ensemble Award to Ladybugs.
I give it to Mighty Ducks in this one, but
yeah.
I don't think actually, not to be a jerk,
right.
but I don't think this movie belongs in the conversation with these other movies.
No, it's not. It doesn't
really
belong
isn't.
at all.
It doesn't belong at all, man.
No,
I don't know
which one of these is not like the other for sure.
I want to talk more about the nostalgia of this movie, but let's save it for the end. Let's just jump right into the movie this time because there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. And
clearly this is a movie that we've all, seen as a kid. Yeah, if you were born in the early 80s, but let's we'll get to that later.
And I think, the majority of people, when we tweeted this out or we put it on Instagram and everything, it sounded like, there was a decent buzz. People were excited about this one. I know we had people request it in the past.
Hot buzz.
But there's a bunch of topics. And the first one that I just want to get your perspective on is let's just talk about Grandpa. Because that's what his IMDb credit is, Grandpa.
First and foremost, he has no name. It's just Grandpa.
And this guy has a checkered past. That's all I'll say. And let's start with the Grandpa and the boys' ninja training, because there's a lot to unpack here. What do you think of this guy?
I don't know. Like you say checkered, like, is it like, I can't tell if he's formerly a bad guy or if he was just buddy with a bad guy. And once he learned he was bad, he exited the situation. Like what was that?
It was pretty gray, in my opinion. If we'll get to the official villain of the movie, Hugo Snyder, later, but the backstory was that he had some type of dojos with this guy, and he was training his people. Now, did he know that they were henchmen at the time? I don't know. What else was he doing? Was Hugo Snyder always a bad guy? We'll debate that. But I don't know what his relation was to this guy. Like he trained him, so was he a student first, and then he surpassed him? Like clearly, this guy knows what he's doing now. If you rated his own ninja skills, he needed a stuntman for 95% of the shots that he was in. And it was like clear as day, obvious.
Oh, man.
Because he turned and it was like the guy was 6 inches taller.
Yeah.
Like 6 inches slimmer. Like it was clearly a stuntman.
Hair flopping in the breeze. Oh, yeah.
Is that why you think they made him wear the hood? Because
yes,
it was easier to hide
the
him?
end scenes, the scenes at the climax, definitely. I think the ninja suit helped conceal his identity. So really, he might not even have been alive during the last scene of the movie.
I think he actually died.
And it was just a new guy. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about him as a teacher, because you can put these movies in, I don't know, a box, and you can say, oh, this is the same as Karate Kid. This is the same as Sidekicks. This is the same as Johnny Tsunami, one of the other movies back in the day. And I kind of looked at it, right? So you look at Mr. Miyagi, he's Daniel LaRusso's teacher. You look at Mr. Lee from Sidekicks, he was the teacher, the restaurateur and the teacher of Jonathan Brandis's character. To me, this one's a little bit more, I know it's not surfing, but it's a bit more on the Johnny Tsunami side, because his grandfather obviously is family. This guy's the family of the kids. There's this weird relationship with the dad and all this stuff. It's like a family drama almost in this case. I don't know. How do you compare him?
Well, first of all, I have to admit that I have never seen Johnny Tsunami. So
God.
I am like completely in the dark on the Johnny Tsunami territory.
Get on it, man.
I know of him.
Shang Tsung's in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, was Tsunami's training forbidden?
No, well, instead of it being the father-in-law, it was the father. So the dad didn't want the kid doing all the stuff that he was doing. So it was a very similar thing. He wasn't doing karate; he was surfing.
Yeah, I think all intentions were good for all masters, if you will. But I feel like this grandpa here in Three Ninjas was the most irresponsible.
Yeah, tell me why you think so, because you could look at it in a vacuum and say, "Oh, he's just teaching them martial arts." So what do you think is irresponsible about this?
No, he's not teaching them, like, you don't go down to Tiger Lee's dojo down the street, right? It's not karate class where you put the kids in karate class, right? And they do competitions. Yeah. This is ninja training, teaching their kids to like hit pressure points and real painmaker stuff and weapons training, Drew. Weapons training, ninja stars,
dude,
throwing stars, sword play, nunchucks.
They were getting bullied on the basketball court. This stuff comes in handy.
These kids are 8 years old. How old are these kids, Drew?
They're killers.
8, 10, and 12, maybe.
How old do you think they actually are? Is that what you would say?
Tum-Tum's like 6.
You think
he looks 6 to me?
My daughter's 5, and like I don't know. But
you put a sword in her hand, she'll grow up a little quicker. She's not that far off from Tum-Tum.
I mean, I don't know. So that he was using ninja stars. I think probably ninja stars are super irresponsible to give a kid because kids like to throw stuff. You know?
Kids like to throw stuff.
I mean, there's kids in this house throwing stuff all the time. So you get throwing like ninja stars. You could accidentally probably kill somebody.
Let me tell you the scene where they basically jumped Grandpa, right? And it was like a training scene.
Was that on purpose, though? Did he know they were doing it?
No, I think he was coming home from the store. And then Tum-Tum just drops down and like he could have just ran him over had he, Grandpa's, no spring chicken. Grandpa's no spring chicken. Like he could have just like, been slow to the brakes. All of a sudden the kid's dead. Then what do you say to the parents?
Yeah.
That's when the dad tells the mom, I told you so. They're in the bedroom. The son's murdered by the grandpa. And they're just, he'll just bring it up out of the blue like 5 months down the line. I told you that they shouldn't have been training with the kids,
It's all fun and games until Grandpa runs you over with his boat convertible.
But thankfully, Grandpa's, facilities are still with him to slam on those brakes.
Yeah.
But then the kids are throwing stars at his crotch. They're beating him with sticks. They're throwing swords at him, jumping out of trees. I don't know, man. It just seems like it's too soon. This is too intense.
There's a very famous episode of Batman the Animated Series. Do you remember the one with the samurai? It was I think it's Night of the Ninja and Day of the Samurai, or maybe I forgot which one it is. When he teaches him the death touch and he wears the pad under his shirt.
Yes.
I remember when he was like teaching him how to punch in the chest. That's all I could think about when the grandpa's teaching them the death touch, except the death touch is like kicking somebody in the balls. That's what it was. It was comedic, I guess. But I guess in 92, kids kicking somebody in the balls, that's like a funny thing.
It's a
maybe
funny
not
thing,
so much now.
So
maybe not so much now.
And like teaching them the pressure points, like remember the light up scene, with the dummy with the light up eyes.
It's a very iconic.
It's a very iconic scene for this movie. Like that's some dangerous shit right there. You teach a kid to throw that stuff on the playground. Oh.
So go on the record here. Do you not approve of this?
I don't think I do. Like I think it's too much. I like the idea of giving the kids martial arts training. That's fine. But to make it their lives, it seems like they're all about this life.
Well, they were living with him for the summer, right?
Yeah. Like you want your kids to learn karate. You don't want your kids to become ninjas. Right?
True.
Am I right?
I mean, there is a big difference between being a martial artist and a ninja.
These kids want to be ninjas, and they're being like trained to become ninjas. Yes, they're being trained to become assassins. And then you have to trust them to not use it. You know how much of a hothead that dude Colt kid is? The middle kid?
All I can say is, I've never even seen the sequels. Not the one with Hulk Hogan, not the ones with Eddie. Yeah. I've never seen them. But all I can think about was Colt was going to grow up and probably become some type of like murderer. He looked like the type that would become a murderer, didn't he?
He's like at worst, he's Raphael.
Yeah,
he's just the brooding, I don't know, just hates the world, everyone's against me kind of kid.
So the mom seemed to be cool with this. The dad definitely wasn't.
So yeah, that's the thing. The dad is like, I don't like grandpa doing this stuff. And the mom is kind of on the fence where, it's kind of good for him. And the grandpa's bonding. I feel like she also probably feels it's a little over the top.
But it's her dad, so it's cool.
But she's trying to compensate oppositely to not double team the grandpa to say, we gotta pull these kids away from them.
But what I'll say is, look, you're going to send your kids away for the summer so you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Like whatever they're doing. Like I get it. Look, it's like, oh, grandpa, they're going to spend time with grandpa. Dad's doing all his FBI cases. Dad doesn't give a crap about these kids, clearly, which we'll get to in a second.
Well,
I don't know what mom's doing. I have no idea. Like you got to expect it. They know what this dude's about. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
Like it's not a secret. Like they sent him away. Like, it's the payment for having your children like taken care of for the summer. That's what I would say.
Well, the dad clearly he loves the free childcare.
That's what he can complain all he wants, but he's out there collecting evidence.
Yeah,
failing at his FBI job.
Yeah.
But so let me ask you this: do you think he's a bad grandpa?
No, because he cares. Question, he cares. He clearly loves the boys.
Coming from a good place.
Loves his daughter, the mother, and he respects the father, even though he goes completely against his wishes. The father is actually the one that needs to like grow a spine a little more and maybe rein in the training a little bit.
Yeah.
If the father was actually active and cared, he would go up to that house in the woods where they're training and say, listen, Frank. I feel like the grandpa's name is Frank. They don't say it.
Frank.
Yeah. I feel like he needs to go up there and say, listen, Frank, you're allowed to do this, this, and this. I absolutely do not want the kids. I do not want the kids touching throwing stars and swords and nunchucks. But you can certainly teach them discipline and stamina and, fighting styles that are non-lethal, please. But set the parameters. And that's what the dad is not doing. So he's probably not allowed to have an opinion on this if he's not doing anything to police it. Right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think the dad should have grown a spine and set some type of guidelines. He just took the hardline stance of, I don't give a crap about anything except for telling everybody what to do, but not being involved in their life. And I'm just going to complain here and say they shouldn't do it. And that's BS. That's BS.
Apologize to all of our police fans out there. You might be listening. You're a police officer, but typical police, especially in the movies where they just like to shout out things like, "Hey, stop that! Hey, you, knock it off!"
Yeah,
he's just trying to shout, "Knock it off," to grandpa, but not actually going over there and doing something.
Well, I'll say
you,
this.
Stop it.
The other thing I was going to ask you too, related to them and their training, is, do they have any regular clothes that whole time, or were they wearing the karate gis? And is it a sign of disrespect to wear the karate gi outside of like the training place? Right, they're outside. I guess they could wear it, but it looked like they were wearing it just as like pajamas and stuff like that. Like, I've never really done martial arts, so I'm not like up on the whether that's disrespectful or not. But the kids were wearing it as like a costume. They weren't.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a plaything.
Yeah, I don't think you wear it outside the dojo. I mean, I'm no expert, but
I guess the world is their dojo. And
yeah, right.
The other thing about the shoes, like I saw the ninja shoe, right, where they have the split toe.
Yes.
Is that comfortable?
Would
you want to wear that?
I don't think so.
I looked this up on Wikipedia when I was watching this. I'm like, man, I got to learn about this. Like, I forgot what the specific name is. There's a name for it. Yeah. Like, this is the original like 5-toe shoes, I guess, when they were running around with like the people with the runners. But they say that they prefer it because it gives them more stability. But to me, that looks like it would be very uncomfortable.
Where does the middle toe go? On the right?
I think it's all to the right.
Because the toe is so stabilized?
Yes. I think the left you can go split 2, 3. Is big toe only.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's big toe only split, and the rest is your, it's like thumb and the rest of your hand.
I guess it's comfortable.
Let's talk about these kids real quick. 90s fashion. I mean, they wore the karate gis most of the time, but you think they got the Bugle 90s. Boy? Did they have the Massimo? Did they have the Umbro?
Umbro, yeah.
What's the other one? U.S. Polo Association? Like, man, whatever these brands are.
There's nothing I wanted more on the boardwalk of New Jersey in like the summer of 1992 than to get like an Umbro jacket.
Yeah, they had those shorts too, right?
The windbreaker, the Umbro windbreaker,
the windbreaker shorts, like the soccer pants.
Oh yeah.
I had a Bugle Boy hat. Did you ever have those?
Had to have it. I did not have it, but I knew of it.
It looked like theirs. I wore it backwards too.
Yeah.
It was like it. What do you think of their ninja names? So you got Rocky, Colt, and Tum-Tum, because I got a really super scorching take here on this. But what? Give me yours first.
I'm a fan. I think they're iconic. I mean, I think they're Grandpa probably pulled them out of his ass. I don't feel like he thought too much about it, but I think he knocked it out of the park.
Listen, you gonna call me Tum-Tum? I'm saying no. I'm leaving.
Listen, I'm gonna listen right back to you,
man.
I feel like freaking 6-7-year-olds don't get offended. So
Tum-Tum, come on.
I feel like Tum-Tum is a term of endearment. You give it to the youngest one, and then he'll get a new name when he's like 12. When people start making fun of him.
Douglas, the serial killer, grows up to be a serial killer. Tum-Tum Douglas,
Chip Douglas, and Colt
Do you think
Douglas.
he gets a new name later? Does he get it? Does he get to choose his name?
He gets a new name at 12.
He's like the Rook
when he actually takes it seriously. Yeah, because right now this is just funny games. It's more serious to Colt and Rocky. Tum-Tum is just like he's still like a child, like a little baby.
Do these kids get along? Like, what's their relationship? Because I want to know what's your take on this, because it's interesting.
So my biggest takeaway from this relationship is that they all share the same bedroom, right?
Yeah.
They have a pretty big house in the suburbs there. It seems like a very nice size. The type of house that has like 4 or 5 bedrooms, right?
Yeah, it's a huge house.
Why are they in the same bedroom? Either A, they get along really well, or B, Dad just needs like 4 offices because he's a hot shot or something, right?
I mean, Dad might be having evidence in all those rooms. He's recreated the murder scenes. I mean, the one room was like completely covered in what is it, painters tarps and stuff. I don't know what that was
the
about.
mom was redoing it. They said, I don't know.
Was that one of the bedrooms or what? What was it? I don't even know.
No, their bedroom was very much lived in. It's not like they just scrambled to put a third bed in there. It was clearly calculated if all three of those boys lived in the same room.
These guys look like the type that would have like 6 living rooms, where they have furniture that you don't sit on. It's just like set up for a room. Like you just look at it. That's the type of house that this was. Yeah. But I don't know. I think they got along, and that's why they wanted to be in the same room.
What do you? So really, what are they, like 9, 11, 13? You thinking something like that?
Probably. Rocky's the oldest, right? Colt's the middle one.
Yeah. So Rocky, the 13-year-old, like he shouldn't be sharing a bedroom with a 9-year-old. It's like the gap is I don't know.
You don't think that? I don't know.
If that kid's 9, I don't think that kid's 9.
I think they got along. It's like
he's on the tin can talking to girls, man. Like, can't be having that.
Well, it depends on what he's saying on the tin can there.
Yeah, exactly. He has to hold back. If you understand what I'm saying, he has to hold back.
He didn't even want to admit that he liked her, though. That's the thing. No. And clearly Rocky loves.
He needs privacy. He's not ready to declare his feelings to his brothers. That he's got to maintain a sense of leadership. He's Leonardo of the group, apparently.
Is it because he couldn't talk on the cans is why he had to pretend he didn't like her? Because he couldn't confess his love? That's why?
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it's just too much ninja shit in his brain. I don't know.
I listen, I have a younger brother, right? He's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And growing up, we shared a room, even though I had my own room, because we were close. So we used to just hang out. And when we would hang out, we would just whatever, like play video games or just hang out together. Yeah. We shared a room because it meant we got to talk more or hang out more. And it was like even at bedtime, right?
But it's 2 years though. Like that's fair. That's fair.
Well,
2 years.
I think maybe Colt and Rocky are close and Tum-Tum's like tagging along kind of thing. But maybe that's what it was. And he's just there because I think, didn't they just have a bunk bed and then there was a separate bed or something?
Yeah. The older one had his own bed. Right.
So maybe that's what it was.
A very large bedroom. But I feel like at a certain point, Rocky's got to be like, Mom, yo, need my room here.
I'm curious to know if it was of their own doing or it was because Mom or Dad made them like be friends or something like that. It's a very interesting question.
I don't know, man. It's too nice of a house to cram all 3 kids into one room is all I'm saying.
What do you think of their outfits and their masks? Like the masks, the colors were pretty cool.
I like the masks. The masks were fine. I think Grandpa, obviously Grandpa cares. He painted them up real nice.
Do you think he really got those passed down over centuries, or do you think you get them at the thrift store?
Oh, total thrift store. Or he made them.
It looked like
he made them that day or something. I don't know.
Spirit Halloween store he got it from.
Yeah.
At the mall.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Let's talk about one of the men of the hour. Bad father Sam Douglas. I'm calling him a bad father. I'm just going to declare it right here.
Just flat out. Just not even putting him through the ringer.
Yeah, I'm just flat out saying it. Yeah. Because I think Sam Douglas is just a bad father. He just is. Let's just call a spade here and just be honest with it. Because there's a couple of categories we got to.
I'm not going to judge a man until he's gone through the ringer, Drew. So
we're gonna put him through the scale. We'll put him through the scale. But first, before we rate him as a father, I want to ask you: let's rate this guy as an FBI agent. Like, is he even good at the job that he leaves his family for all the time?
Yeah. First of all, Sam Douglas is very much an FBI agent's name. Yeah, so
it is.
Good on them. First of all. Second of all. No, I don't think he's very good at his job. Like, they had the drop on this bad guy Snyder in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Like, he was dead to rights. They let him slip right through the fingers. And it seems like he's been chasing this guy for a long time.
That's what I want to know. And especially with, like, I joked about the checkered past of the grandfather. Is this why he married the daughter? Like, is this why he's in that marriage? Because he wanted to catch Snyder and he knew that the grandpa was friends with him? Is this like a sham marriage?
Do you think that he's been chasing this guy for at least 12 years? For as old as the kids are?
He could be. I mean, he's bad at his job, right? Like, we don't know. We don't know. He could have been. I mean, that heist was so bad. He pretended to be a limo driver.
He sent the guy to be a fake arms dealer. That guy, that's a white guy, Drew. I'm sorry.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
That was the fakest mustache I've ever seen in my life. If you look at my notes, it says, "That's a fake mustache."
That's a fake mustache.
With a bunch of exclamation points. Yeah. Because it was clearly a fake. Now, I don't know if that's bad on Sam Douglas or bad on Hugo Snyder for not realizing it. Or
it's
both.
Both. Well, it's Sam Douglas's job. Like, it's his operation.
Yeah.
He sent that guy out there to die. Like, if I were Snyder, I would have shot that guy in the head once he got halfway to me.
Yeah, if this wasn't Touchstone Pictures and this was like some real, PG-13 rated R kind of movie, that guy would have been.
That guy wouldn't make it. Yeah, that guy wouldn't have made it.
He'd have been shot right away. He would have just taken him out right away. I mean, I don't know. He leaves his evidence on the table for the kids to find. That's pretty sloppy policing.
The files are everywhere, Drew. They're everywhere. At least get a locked file box or a drawer or something. You can't have the kids. There's probably photos of like crime scenes there, just waiting for his 7-year-old kid to open up and get traumatized by.
It's like evidence tampering too. Like imagine if he's got evidence there and the kids are playing with it. Could you imagine that? Sloppy.
Sure. Yeah.
It's sloppy policing, man. It's really bad.
Guy probably keeps his guns unlocked. Type of guy.
Everyone in this gun had the 1992 cop gun, which was like that little, like, it looked like a cap gun, with a little revolver thing.
It's a revolver.
the little short one, though, it was so.
Yep.
It's just really funny.
Snub
like,
nose.
Everything. Yeah.
They got the snub nose.
It looked really funny to me.
Yeah.
And the one point where the surfer guy had like 3 of them, which I vote that we make the cover of this episode just because it's so ridiculous. But no, back to Sam Douglas here. What is his relationship with Snyder? Do you think he's been chasing him that long? I do.
No, yeah, and I feel like it is very possible he married who he married just to get close to the guy because he was a business partnership with that woman's father. It's very possible. I wouldn't put it past him.
Let's just do it. Let's put him in the barometer, man. You invented this thing, so you gotta talk about the categories.
It is not set in stone. We don't have set categories like the villain scale, but I think we do need to address a few questions. Like, first of all, is he there for the kids? Like, is he? If we're asking, is he a bad father? We first have to ask, is he there for them? Like, both physically and emotionally, or emotionally.
Do you want me to answer this now, or you want to go through the categories first?
No. Yeah, answer this one first. Yeah, is he there? And
no,
I think it's an obvious question. No, he's not there. He's always working, and we find this a lot in these movies. I don't know if it's just something we never realized back in the day when we were watching these movies when they were new and we were kids. But why are there so many bad fathers in these movies? And none of them, they're always too busy at work. Most of them are too busy at work.
Pretty bad, too. Like, this guy, they were away for the whole summer. He's like, oh, it's nice to see you, kids. Oh, he gave him new names, bye. And he left immediately. He didn't even give him, like, a hug, really. Nothing.
They pull up, and he's like, the tires are screeching out of the driveway.
It's like the motorcycle from Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
See you later, son.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, Grandpa showed me this new move. Here, watch. I don't have time. I know you just got home a second ago, and I haven't seen you all summer, but I gotta go.
Like, I mean, he is trying to catch Hugo Snyder, but he failed.
He's been trying to do that 15 years. Get over it, kid. Like, get over it, dude. You're done. You're not going to catch him.
So when you say, is he there for them, do we count the wife too? So is he there for his spouse too? Like, is he a good husband?
That factors into it. Is he there for the wife? Is it just the kids he's neglecting, or is it the whole family? Is he divorced, or are they married?
Well, what if they're secretly divorced and we don't know it in this? I don't know.
Yeah, I believe in this movie that they are not divorced. I think the mother is putting up with it. Yeah. She's almost at her wit's end.
She had some good patience, I'll be honest.
She has patience.
She did. They didn't say what she did. What is she? Did they talk about what her job was?
I don't know. Maybe she's a paralegal.
She was or like a real estate agent or something. Like, I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
She seemed like she did some. I mean, she was dressed up all the time, so she had some type of like office job maybe or something. Yeah. I don't know.
So he's not a bad husband in the fact that he's not cheating, and they're still married. It may or may not be a rocky relationship. They didn't really. The parents' relationship were not tested in this.
It looked like they were out on a date at one point. Like, your father and I are going to be out late. Now, who knows what they were doing? Yeah. But they were out, so it seemed like they were still okay. But you're right; it wasn't tested. There wasn't an adulterous situation where Snyder hits him up with some like person that could cheat on his wife with him to test him.
So the question of is he there is a big no, but at least he's not a scumbag. He's just a hard worker. It's just that he works too hard.
It comes from a good place.
Yeah,
but he's not a scumbag. I
don't even know if it comes from a good place. It just means that he's so wrapped up in his work. He's cheating on his family with his work.
That's a good way to put it. Actually,
that's the way it is.
But I guess if you're gonna be cheating on your family with your work, there's worse jobs to do it with. Like, at least he's trying to do something good for the world. Like, he's trying to catch Hugo Snyder, but
I don't know.
It's not like he's selling mattresses. Like
yeah.
Like, what's
yeah,
his name?
that's true. That's true. It is an admirable job, but I feel like is this just like a bleak way to look at the world? Like
It could be.
you catch one arms dealer. There's like 5 others you don't catch. Those bombs
That's
are getting
true.
traded. Those missiles, those warheads, those nukes, they're exchanging hands. No
That's
matter
pretty
what
nihilistic.
happens. I know.
That's
I'm
pretty
sorry.
nihilistic.
I'm sorry.
Well, I think the answer to your question is he there? It's no, he's not there.
No, he's not there.
He's definitely not there.
All right. But Drew, does he care?
I think the answer to that is no too.
Does he do anything for the kids? Is he conflicted that he's working so much?
No, you know
or
what?
is he so wrapped up in his job that he doesn't even realize that he's being a bad father?
He cares when they catch the bad guy for him, them and the grandpa catch the bad guy for him. He cares enough to take them out to pizza. That's at the end.
Well, because they just solved his lifelong case.
So he's
Of
going to
course he's
celebrate with
grateful
pizza.
for
Chuck E. Cheese.
$12.50 pizza.
Chuck E.
Well,
Cheese.
what was the place other than Chuck E. Cheese back in the 90s?
Little
maybe
Caesars?
maybe it was just local.
I don't know.
It wasn't Sesame Place, although Sesame Place was
Sesame
a pizza
Place
place.
was a place, yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna forever haunt me. There's another Chuck E. Cheese-esque pizza place.
I don't know.
Damn it!
Was it
I'm
around
gonna-
here?
Yes, but it was like I feel like it was a chain.
You have to look it up. I don't know.
It's gonna forever haunt me. If you guys know, please hit us up because it's gonna forever haunt me. Yeah, a $12.50 pizza and a couple quarters for the arcade are not going to make up for the lost years of growing up.
I don't think that he cares. I mean, he cares enough. Well, it's a tricky way, right? He cares enough to tell him that they can't do martial arts. Or sorry, that they can't do ninjaing.
Yeah. He cares for their well-being.
He doesn't want him to die. I guess that's better than,
Yes.
he cares about that. Because
Yeah.
I guess he's an FBI agent, so he has to care. But he doesn't
But, like-
really care about them. Does he care about
but-
what they're interested in? I don't think so.
No. So in a lot of these movies with bad dads, you see it where the dad feels bad that he's working so much.
This guy doesn't care, man.
He is not showing any of that.
No.
So
he gets
I
in the
think
car
does
right
he?
away.
So the answer to does he care? I think is no. Right?
It's also a big fat no. Absolutely.
Is he there? No. Does he care? No. That's 2 down. Not
I
looking
like how
good.
you rhyme that.
Yeah.
0 for 2, this guy.
Yeah. Is there substance abuse?
Not that we can see.
I don't see
But,
it. I didn't see him
mean-
drink one beer. I didn't see one booze in this video. In this movie.
Could he be coked up or something? Because he's got to stay up all night.
I don't know.
Maybe he's coked up.
I don't know. Do cops get coked up? I don't know.
I don't-
Maybe they do.
Maybe this guy. I mean, you saw
Maybe they
Bad
do.
Lieutenant port a call.
Yeah.
You seen
That's
that?
pretty extreme.
I mean, that's Nick Cage. That's Nick Cage. But substance abuse. I don't know. He wasn't drunk.
No, I'm gonna say no. Let's not go nuts here. He's not a drunk. He's not. He doesn't come home at 2 a.m. after 14 hours of work
Strip club.
and is also reeking of booze from the bar because he had to have a couple after the shift.
Yeah.
So that good on him for that. But he doesn't come home.
Yeah. He doesn't come
actually.
home at all.
He
so-
actually doesn't come home. So who knows what he's doing? Oh man, the imagination runs wild. I don't know. What do you
I don't
think?
know about this guy. I'll give it a no. He doesn't
All
do
right.
substance abuse. He seems
Yeah.
too squeaky clean.
I don't know. We don't have it written on here, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Does he make empty promises?
He seems like the type because when Tum-Tum said in the beginning, "Do you think Dad will be home when we get there?" and Grandpa tried to stall for him, he tried to.
Yeah.
It seems like he's made one too many. Like, I'll be home tomorrow. Hey,
Because-
you know what? I'll be at your basketball game.
Yeah.
I'll be at your martial arts exhibit.
The fact that Tum-Tum has to ask that leads
what
you
I
to
mean.
believe that he's at least once before expected Dad to be there
That's
when
what
they
I
got
mean.
back when Dad wasn't there.
Exactly what I mean.
Yeah. So
I don't think it's there. I
Yeah.
think he's definitely the type to make the empty promises. That's another good category that we should add
Right.
on there.
So to wrap up this father talk, which when we say we're going to do the movie Three Ninjas, these people don't realize that we're going to talk about the father who's barely in the movie for 15 plus minutes. But
Yeah.
I think it's important stuff.
Listen, this is hard hitting journalism
Yeah.
here. This is
So final judgment: bad father, yes or no? The answer is a
Absolutely.
resounding yes. Absolutely, he's a terrible father.
one
One of the worst fathers that we've seen in these movies.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because I said this last week about the villain scale, which we'll get to in a second. But we should probably chart the bad fathers here. He's one of the worst. I don't know if he's as bad as the Angels in the outfield guy, because that guy like just did not care
he's
at all.
Scumbag. Yeah, that's deadbeat. Deadbeat's another level.
Yeah, bad father, deadbeat father, definitely another level.
The Angels in the outfield
bad.
father, he left a motorcycle dust in his kid's face as he sped off.
See you around, son. Bye. And he left him in like an orphanage too. So
Yeah,
it wasn't
orphanage.
even.
It's not even with his mother. He's just some creepy lady.
Yeah, he's not at work.
Yeah.
He left her with the turtle dove lady or whatever, the
God.
pigeon lady from Home Alone 2. Come on.
To wrap up Bad Father, one more thing to like solidify this man as terrible father, I forgot to even mention is that so when they find out that the kids are kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
You know, they just fought the California surfer dudes, knocked them out, no problem. And then, you know, the big henchman comes in and they get kidnapped, right? The father wants to go and, you know, obviously he knows, oh my God, it's Snyder. I got to get him. I know where they are. And then the grandpa goes, give me an hour. And he says, all right. This is his case. It's Snyder's case. It's Sam's case.
Yeah.
And is his lifelong enemy, Snyder, has his kids. But he's going to let grandpa take care of it for an hour before he comes in. Are you serious?
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. And grandpa's climbing the ropes.
Grandpa, and for all Sam knows, Grandpa is a crazy psychopath, nut bar, senile old man. He doesn't really know that Grandpa's actually a master ninjutsu artist.
Yeah. But is he really? Because all what is it? Like we're not gonna get,
What if he isn't? What if he isn't?
is he really? Because I don't see it.
The kids are
Honestly,
pretty good. The kids are pretty good.
But look, I don't like there's we're already like 40 minutes in, and I'm just gonna tell the listeners like we're not gonna be able to talk about all the scenes. Like it's just not gonna happen. But I do want for a second because I want to go to the villain.
This is what's important.
Yeah.
Who cares about the Home Alone shenanigans? This
It doesn't
is what's
matter.
important. Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's talk about Hugo. Don't call me Schneider. Snyder.
Don't call him.
And-
Can I call him Posh?
Yeah, Hugo Posh.
Hugo
Snyder.
Posh.
Every time I hear this guy's name, I want to call him Schneider instead of Snyder.
You call him Schneider.
I
It's
kept
okay.
calling him that the whole time.
Okay.
So he's not Hugo Posh, the porn director. He's not Hugo Schneider, the fashion designer. Like I don't know who this guy is, but we need to talk about this guy because and as part of this, I do want to ask you. So don't let me forget.
All right.
Is the grandpa actually good at ninjutsu? I don't know. Like, is he actually a ninja?
He taught the kids. So, but what if he's one of those like great teacher, bad in practice?
Yeah.
Like you could teach, like you could be a football coach, but be actually bad at throwing a football.
But
Like,
how
that's a
old is
thing.
this guy? This guy's like 97 years old.
Yeah.
He's so old. Like he couldn't even move. They you can see his face right now on,
He's
on
running
the chat
around
here.
in his pajamas,
That's what I mean.
climbing
Let's-
up the boat.
Let's talk about Hugo Snyder. And I'm going to propose it this way. Last time we kind of talked about the guy and then we put him to the villain scale. Let's just talk about the scale as we
Just
go
gonna
through
do it all at once. Do it
Let's
live.
just do it at once. I want to talk a little bit about this guy. We'll set him up. So he's an arms dealer, and he has some clan of ninjas that are hiding out in this boat, and that's where his base of operations is, and he's trying to sell missiles to some some colonel. I don't know who he was. I'm assuming it's some type of foreign actor, right?
Who the hell cares?
It's some type of person that he's going to go sell these arms. At the same time, he's also trying to kidnap some children and do all this other stuff so he can get away with this diabolical plan. But also, this guy was willing to murder an old man in cold blood in front of his grandchildren
Yeah,
while
it's pretty
his
bad.
crew of ninjas were watching, right?
Yeah.
This guy seems like a sort of a poor man's Terry Silver. I mean, look,
Yeah.
I don't. The analogies are there. You got the slick back ponytail. We're going there.
We're doing karate, yeah. There's an old man involved, a teacher.
So let's put him through the scale. We'll talk about it. If you're new to the show, we talk about the villain scale. We've got 4 categories. We've got the look and the style. We've got the hideout and the layer. We've got the plan, and we've got the henchman. And it's a scale of 1 to 5 for each of these categories. Let's start with look and style. And you said this earlier. We don't really have this in the scale built in so far. about like how treacherous the person is, or maybe like how evil they really are, and maybe this fits into the look and the style because it's like how they carry themselves, like how diabolical they are. It sort of covers with the plan maybe too, but I don't know. What do you think of this guy's look and style?
Dude, it's awesome. All right.
I was loving this guy the whole time. I thought he was
Best
great.
part of the movie is this villain. First thing, I actually audibly shouted "Holy ponytail" when I first saw this guy when his first scene
It was
came. 'Cause
good.
It was so evil. This guy's haircut, and he's got
super
a white
wet too.
White suit with like the floral print tie.
Yeah,
Are you
tie.
kidding me? Screams villain.
His outfits were awesome.
He's tall. He talks about ripping body parts out of your body.
Yeah, he's gonna rip the guy's heart
He
out.
threatened one guy with a heart. He threatened the liver for another guy. I think he threatened to pop a guy's head open. PG movie. We're talking PG. Like this is awesome villainy stuff.
There's a picture of him like about to murder the grandpa in cold blood. I'll put it on the Instagram. Like he's like death gripping him. The grandpa, like he kicked this guy's ass, and this is an feeble old man.
What
and
is
he was about to kill him.
What was his gi, Drew? Like what? Like
he looked like
so
Shredder.
Good. See,
he looked like Super Shredder, didn't he? With the purple.
There is very much Ninja Turtle vibes with this movie, though.
Yes.
I'm thinking about it because he was Shredder. He had a Tatsu,
yes,
in the big guy, and he had a whole army of soldiers, who were not good at fighting at all.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
It was all Ninja Turtles, and like. The three California dudes were pretty much Bebop and Rocksteady.
Exactly.
Right? Trying to kidnap the kids. So this is
true.
very much Ninja Turtles 5. And you had Leonardo, Raphael, and Michelangelo as the three ninjas. Really.
That's very true.
Master Splinter as Grandpa. Right? So it's pretty much Ninja Turtles. But if I have to rate this guy's look, I have to give him a 5.
I'm going 5
have to.
easily.
Because of the ponytail, the white suits, the floral ties, the silk pajama looking karate gi. Like, come on.
His
so
ponytail
good.
was extra wet too.
It was so wet. His
absolutely
hair was so
Terry
wet.
Silver-esque. I mean, do you think they were going for a Silver vibe? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Like, what year was this? Are we sure this was before Karate Kid 3?
This is
or
92.
after? When was Karate Kid 3 made?
I should know this. 89.
Yeah.
89.
Okay, so
It's
okay.
after.
It was well after. Okay, good.
So they knew what they were doing with
Yeah.
that look.
Yeah.
They knew. But what was this guy's accent? Could you tell? Because I couldn't really get it.
I don't know. I feel like English wasn't this guy's first language, which maybe I don't know. And this was pretty much this guy's only acting job, really.
Which is sad because I
funny.
didn't think he was that, like, he wasn't good, but he wasn't that bad,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I didn't think he was that bad.
Yeah.
And he was like, the sad thing was when I looked at his IMDb, his second job was like an extra, basically. Like he went from being the main villain of this movie to being like an extra. Like, what's that?
Maybe he wasn't that great, honestly.
But look, I've seen worse.
He wasn't terrible. Maybe he just
couldn't get another job.
Maybe he just
Maybe he
didn't
didn't
like
want
it. I don't know.
Yeah. His heart wasn't in it.
Maybe he wasn't an actor. Maybe I don't know, because I think it could have led to more like, I don't know, not, super great movies, but like you could have had a career.
When you got a look like that, you have a future as a villain in all these movies. Like he could be typecast, but that's okay.
Sure.
He was good.
He was a tall, imposing, scary guy.
What'd you think of his martial arts moves? He was pretty good too.
Pretty good, yeah. Part of me thinks like maybe he was in the martial arts game.
Yeah.
And then he tried this one thing. It was a kid's movie. I'm going to be a villain in a kid's movie. I'll use my martial arts skills. I'll be all, intimidating. And maybe he did it, and then he realized, he didn't have the passion for it. Maybe he tried out for another movie, auditioned for another one or two movies, didn't get it. Then he thought, you know what, maybe this isn't for me.
This isn't for me. I see.
That might just be how it went.
What do you think of his hideout and his lair? Because he had some pretty good stuff here.
He also kind of had Bison vibes to me.
Yeah.
Where he had like multiple pretty cool hideouts and multiple outfits that were badass. So this is very, very much Bison territory. So first of all, his mansion, very sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
He, in the beginning of the movie, he had that warehouse, which every good villain needs a warehouse.
You need a warehouse.
You have to have a warehouse. But then to top it off at the end of the movie, he had a shipping boat What do you even call that thing?
It was like it was like a vessel. It was a huge,
He had
like
a vessel,
like a Navy boat. A vessel, yeah. It was. We had ninjas training out doing karate in a boat. Like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, if you have a warehouse to store your arms, you have a mansion to kick your feet up.
Yep.
And then you have a vessel to transport your arms
and your army.
Total package. It's total package.
Is this guy gonna break the scale here?
Yeah.
Come on.
And the boat doubled as his dojo to train his shitty ninjas. So really it had everything.
Like this guy is, so I know where he's gonna lose some points in the next couple categories.
Yeah.
But the first two, he's got a 5, right?
It's a 5. Hideout Lair's a 5,
it's
man.
good.
I'm sorry.
It's really good.
I can't dock him. You can't dock him.
You can't. I think where we can knock him is his plan here, because, or maybe it's the execution of the plan. Maybe not the plan itself.
Well, the execution's part of it. So let's talk about it.
So he wants to sell missiles to some colonel, like we said, right? He wants to get his ninjas trained by the grandpa. He wants to take the grandpa back. He wants to take out Sam Douglas because he wants to be free to sell his arms. He said only for a couple weeks, so maybe he wasn't going to kill him. Yeah. But he was also going to kidnap the kids too, which is also pretty diabolical. I don't know, but I think like his execution was so bad. And he like fell for the fake arms deal too, which is also bad.
Yeah, I got questions about the kidnapping of the kids.
Yeah,
the plan, the execution was flawed also, but the plan of it all. What did it accomplish? Like, what was his goal there?
I guess to like distract Sam Douglas. But
he brought him to his hideout, so like he pretty much put attention on himself. And it's not like it's Steven Seagal who's going to come by himself and then he can take him out. Sam Douglas is going to come with about 200, FBI agents. And they're going to arrest him. Like, it's going to happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he's in a boat.
You can beat up Grandpa all you want. The FBI is going to be there swarming the building.
And maybe the boat is a bad place.
There's nowhere to run.
It's a docked boat. So if it wasn't docked, maybe it's better because you could like just ship away.
Yeah.
So maybe it was actually a bad hideout. It was a sweet lair, but it was a bad lair in terms of execution. It was pretty bad.
It seems like kidnapping the kids just put undue spotlight on him. Like there's other ways to get at Sam Douglas. I feel.
Yeah, I think, and plus the way that he went about kidnapping the kids, he had a really flawed plan for that too. Like he trusted his like assistant's nephew,
his very nervous assistant, who probably shouldn't be trusted with major decisions.
Yeah. Like that's his downfall. And also he executed his own arms deal. Like if you're that good of an arms dealer, I don't know. I think maybe he should have had like a double or somebody to go with him. I don't know,
man. If it's that important of a deal to be dealing with like a foreign leader, or something like that, like I feel like you got to be there for yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
but
he escaped on the helicopter.
Yeah, and he was good. He was a pretty good escape. That's bad on the FBI that he got away. But you're right though. As soon as that dude stepped out of that limo, that fake Arab guy, like he should have shot him like immediately.
Yeah, he should.
He let him get too close.
I think. I mean, how do we even talk about it? Because his real plan is just to sell the missiles, which isn't that diabolical. It's like missiles get sold all the time.
I feel like I don't mean to like knock his criminal, abilities, but don't the missiles kind of sell themselves? It shouldn't be that hard.
They do.
Once getting them is the hard part. Selling them should be super easy, right?
He had them.
There's a market for them.
Yeah. You don't need to run like a Salesforce marketing campaign to sell the missiles. It's like you're good, man. It's like, hey,
once you got them, you can get rid of them pretty easy.
And word is out.
I don't know why it's so hard for him to sell these missiles.
Word is out. Like Hugo Snyder's got the goods. Yeah. Like go to him. He doesn't need to do anything. It sells itself. You're right. I don't know. I think his plan's pretty weak, to be honest. Like I kind of want to go too.
I like the plan of trying to convert the grandpa into like training his army because clearly they need it. They need that training.
But were they really going to get that much better? They had good. Let's talk about it in the next one because they had moves. But what do you give his plan? What do you give it?
All right. Well, his plan's like a 2, if that.
I kind of want to dock him a point for falling for the fake arms deal too.
Yeah, I feel like a 1. Let's go 1. Yeah.
Because this guy can't be the best villain.
He has all of this villainy and nothing to do with it.
He doesn't execute it well.
Yeah. He doesn't know where to go with it. It's a shame. I feel like he needs a partner.
He does. Yeah, he needs a smart partner.
He needs a brains of the operation.
You know, he needs the guy from Under Siege 2 that runs the thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? Like
he can but he can still be the leader. But he needs I don't know, he needs a geek. Like his assistant, he was too much of a geek. Yeah, his assistant needs to be that guy, but he's too much of a wuss to actually be useful. Like
a wuss geek, and he wasn't like a geek, like a brainiac geek. He just seemed like a nerd. I don't know.
And that leads right in perfectly into our last category, henchman, where he also has flaws.
So does he have a sub boss? Like, do you consider the guy that the muscle guy the sub boss?
Yeah, his Tatsu is definitely is a sub boss. Disappointing, sure.
Yeah, he got lit up.
Sub boss nonetheless. But you brought up a point in the previous thing that I do want to bring up is about all these poorly trained or not so, or guys that look like they knew what they're doing. These foot soldiers, for lack of a better term, right?
The Foot Clan.
So they have moves aesthetically. They look like they know what they're doing, right? And you go along also with the California surfer dudes, the nephews, right? That go to try to kidnap Colt, Rocky, and Tum-Tum. And it all comes back to a lot of guys getting their asses kicked by a bunch of 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Now, I'm on record of this podcast as saying no kid can beat me at any sport. And I stand by that.
I forgot what episode that was. Probably
I think that was the Rookie of the Year episode. I think it was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Or Mighty Ducks.
So I don't care what you are. If you're 12 years old or under, I'm beating you at everything.
So, yeah, but
I don't care if you're really good at it. I don't care.
So if a kid is like a ninja, he's a martial artist with a sword. He's like a swordsman.
Yes.
You could still kick his ass?
Yes.
He's 12?
Because he shouldn't be able to hurt me.
But he has a sword.
How's he going to hurt me? All right. Like a kid with a gun could shoot me in the face. Yes, it could happen. That's true. If you're talking weapons.
Yeah, but a sword, you know?
But the kids didn't have swords the majority of the time. It was mostly fist cuffs.
I don't know. Didn't he have a sword at one point in the beginning? What if he lights you up like you light up that other guy? Starts kicking you in the balls and in the arm and the groin.
I mean, are they that accurate? I feel like
what about 3 of them?
It took a couple kicks.
Three kids coming at you. You're gonna shake them off
right now. I'm telling you right now. I can take those 3 kids 3-on-1. No problem.
Zero problem.
All I have to do is just guard my testicles. You know, make sure they don't kick me in the balls. That's the only way they'll get me down. There's no way. First of all, Tum-Tum, he's not hurting me at all. The oldest one, Rocky, it might hurt a little bit, but I power through it. I'll power through it. Do you think I'm crazy? Crazy?
No, I don't want you to get hurt, but I would pay to watch this. I actually would like to watch you fight martial artists that are 12
I feel like it might take at least 5 12-year-olds to actually beat me up.
You really think are you being serious right now?
I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I don't care if they know karate. Kid karate. I don't care about kid karate.
Kid karate.
They're not strong enough to injure me. I'm telling you.
So these henchmen, there's 100 of them. So these kids took them out. So are you calling them weak or are you calling Tatsu weak? Who are you calling weak?
I'm calling all of them weak. They all need training. That's why Grandpa needs to get in there. That's why Hugo Snyder needs to get Grandpa in the fold. That's why I understand his plan there.
Well, I mean, Snyder, he's got the foot soldier guys that you talked about. Yeah. They definitely have moves, but maybe it's all showmen.
They're like show muscles, man. It's they're gonna win a lot of good competitions. I'll tell you what, man. The kata medals that they're bringing home are just they need new rooms for all the medals and trophies.
I want to ask you, because I have another picture, so I'm just gonna post a bunch of pictures because I think there's some. Who are these guys? For real. Who the hell are these guys? Is this their job?
They look like 47-year-old men, Drew.
There's a dude with a mustache. He took his mask off and he's got a mustache. He looks like the guy from old school that tries to join the fraternity.
You think that most of these guys should be 30 and under, maybe a lot of 20-year-olds that don't know where they're going in life. You think about
in the foot soldiers.
Yeah. You think about kids that join the army, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, first of all, let me say. But it's you're not sure what you want to do. Maybe you want to get your college paid for. You're unsure of your future. you know what, I'm going to join the army. It's like, that's the type of person that, but on the bad side, that would go join one of these like Foot Clans.
Think about
for lack of a better word.
Ninja Turtles too. When what's it, Ernie Reyes Jr. goes in there and he's like hanging out with those kids, or you know, the first one, that one kid that's like
Danny. Yeah,
Danny. Right? They're like Lost Boys, right?
Yeah,
that's
right.
What they're
exactly.
doing.
It's young adults that like are not sure which direction in life they're going to go, and so they join this rogue karate ninja crew, and they get trained to the minimal abilities to just like be able to beat someone up by sheer numbers.
I don't know who these guys are. I'll post the picture because there's a picture of these guys walking off the boat. They got their mask off, and it's guy's got like a mustache. He looks like a cop, like one of the police officers or the FBI guys.
To your point, they're not 20-year-olds. They are like 40-somethings.
Is this their full-time job?
It's very strange. It's very strange.
Is this like a part-time thing? Do they know that this guy's an arms dealer?
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing? And they're doing like karate, like, or is this like the new dojo and they don't even know what they're doing? Like they're here dancing around.
They don't even know they're working for an arms dealer. They're at class on the boat.
Yeah,
they're like, man, this is a really weird spot to meet for karate practice.
They don't know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Like, who knows?
Yes.
It's weird to me.
I see.
And then the surfer dudes, like we can't go the whole episode without talking with these surfer guys.
No,
we gotta just at least touch on it for a minute.
Yeah. It's iconic.
I love these guys. I mean, this is the scene that you think of when you think of this movie.
This is like, if you haven't seen this movie since you were freaking 9 years old, 1992, what you think of is these surfer dudes running around the house getting beat up by kids. It's like, it's what the movie is like advertised on.
It's Home Alone, basically,
yeah,
right? It's like the Home Alone aspect of it.
And yeah, the scenes were great, but same thing. I don't care. These guys are not ninjas. They're not trained. They don't know karate. They just have those snub-nosed pistols that you talked about that everyone has. But they should be able to kick those kids' asses. I don't care that they know karate.
Yeah, I mean, look, I wrote down all the house traps that they fell for. I'm just going to go through these super quick.
Go for it.
Because it's not like when we played Dead or Alive, when we did Home Alone 2, those were like, getting electrocuted, shot with a nail gun, kerosene lit on fire, you fall off a rope.
Kevin McAllister was not mischievous. He was murderous.
He's a murderer.
These kids are mischievous.
I mean, I guess you could debate whether it's okay to murder like somebody who's trying to murder you. I don't know whether what that's about, but these kids were
eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. Hammurabi's code here. But these house traps, right? So I wrote these down. I'll go through them super quick. One is like they tripped them and scared them into punching each other while Colt dressed in all white in the drop cloth room, and he hit him with a piece of wood. Okay, that's a little comedic.
Yeah.
Then they locked him in the room and they had an elastic thing on the door and they tripped him while Coates stood behind him. Another goofy thing.
Yeah.
Then they poured dish detergent all over the floor and they made him slip, and then they walked on top of him. And then they dropped jelly beans instead of micro machines and they tripped on them, which I call BS on, because you wouldn't trip on jelly beans. You would just smush them.
Yep.
And then
True.
they threw CDs at their face like Frisbees.
That's just annoying. That doesn't hurt. That's just annoying.
Then one that is actual murder. They tried to hang this guy.
They hung the guy. They hung a guy.
They hung him, and they like tied a bunch of neckties of their dad and the keys, and they tied this guy's neck up and they swung him and hang him off the stairs. That's actually pretty bad. And how he didn't die, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they threw like pepper balls in their face, and then they X-laxed their soda, which the guy who had his face in the sink. Why he didn't just drink the water from the sink? Yeah. He drank this like warm,
I don't know, man.
Stale soda.
No, the soda had there's still ice cubes in it. It looked really good, actually.
Yeah.
Pre-X-lax. But I got a question for you. You talk about like, these ninjas, the grandpa's a nice guy, probably teaches them honor, right?
Yeah.
What's the honor in busting into the bathroom of a guy who just got X-laxed?
Yeah.
And trying to fight a guy who's trying to take a shit? Like, where's the honor in that? Imagine fighting a guy. Imagine trying to fight while you have a stomach cramps. Like, and you're literally on the toilet.
He didn't even wipe yet.
He didn't even wipe. That's not fair. That's so dishonorable of those kids to fight that guy while he's sitting on the toilet. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I know you're trying to kidnap him.
No. It's. I feel like that it's beyond like the kidnapping. It's like they were even until the toilet thing, and then now the kids are at fault.
There's a few vulnerable moments in a person's life. One is when your butt's bare naked and you just gotta go. And that guy was cramped up, man. He was feeling it, and he was very vulnerable. And I agree.
Not fair.
You're not allowed. That's like a timeout. You got to.
That's a timeout. Yeah, you're dishonorable.
You're not allowed to fight.
You can beat me up again, but can I wipe first, at least, please?
Let me wipe.
Can I wipe? I always think, I always thought, like, what if, like, you ever, like, go to the bathroom at, like, 2 a.m.?
Yeah. Somebody breaks into your house.
And, like, that's, like, the prime time. If someone's ever going to break into your house, is in the middle of the night, right? Like, imagine if someone breaks into your house while you're on the toilet. Like, what's your move? Do you pull your pants up right away? Like, what do? You don't have shoes. It's like, maybe you're in your underwear.
Maybe. I mean, like, they're going to call timeout.
So like last week, it was like super hot. And like in my bedroom, the AC doesn't flow up super great on very hot days. So sometimes I sleep naked. I'm just going to say it. For all the ladies out there listening, I sleep naked.
We're earning our parental advisory today, by the way.
So then I'm thinking to myself, all right, what if somebody breaks into my house and tries to get me while I'm naked? Like, what's my move? So I hear them downstairs. Do I quick, like, try to find pants? Or do I, like, jump out the window right away naked? Or, like, because maybe they have guns and I don't, and they'll just get me.
You gotta get something to cover, because you mean running down your street completely buck naked.
Yeah. So my bedroom window is like the roof is right there, and I could, like, jump off of it and not be harmed, I feel.
Yeah. So
I could exit the building very easily through the window.
But then are you going to get arrested? So you're going to get arrested, like, for being naked.
But that maneuver is going to take some time. And these theoretical bad guys that may, like, come in just to rape and murder me, I got to exit as quickly as possible. But, like, do I find pants? It's dark. Do I know where the pants are? Should I have pants, like, close by, just in case?
Yeah, so some people keep the baseball bat by their bed. Yeah, you need to keep the baseball bat and a set of pants.
See, I don't sleep naked all the time, only in really hot days.
No, because what'll happen is they're breaking into your house, and instead of them getting caught for breaking into your house, you're going to get caught for being naked outside in decent exposure. You're going to get arrested right away, and then they're going to steal all your stuff. That's what'll happen.
Exactly. But, like, in a roundabout way, that's what I'm saying is, like, this guy getting beat up while he's on the toilet taking a shit, that's, like, one of my fears.
It's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. Like, I don't want a guy breaking into my house while I'm on the toilet. Then I'm gonna have to make decisions of do I not wipe? Do I do a bad wipe job but quickly? Like, what do I do? I don't know.
I think, this guy and was the other guy. So the other guy was going to the bathroom too. So they were both going. They were lucky there was two bathrooms in this house.
It's a big house.
They're they probably got like 6 bathrooms in this house.
6 bathrooms and only 1 bedroom with 3 kids because they're selfish. The parents are selfish.
The surfer guys were part of my favorite part of the movie, and I know we didn't score this yet, but. You definitely, Snyder's going to lose points for trusting his assistant's nephew, who he never met, for a pretty important job.
Yes.
Right? It was one of his key pillars of his plan to kidnap these kids. And yeah, I get it. The feds were buzzing around, so he couldn't go to their house, and he couldn't go himself, or he couldn't send his guys. But couldn't he have found like a hitman or somebody? Like, he's an arms dealer. He should have people in the community.
Guys for hire. You have to, if you're that high up,
Like, couldn't he?
It's a bad move.
I think, look, I'm going to give him a 1 here, honestly. I kind of want to give him a 1.
It's a 1 because his muscle.
He had volume.
He dropped in 2 seconds. Like, he was nothing.
It's true. It's true. He had volume and he had numbers, but he didn't have quality. He had quantity and no quality.
Zero quality.
And look, I don't know. There's no category here. We talked a little bit about his treachery, but the fact that he was about to murder an old man in cold blood, and then he got hit, he threw the stuff in the guy's face, and then he fell, and he pulled the M16. He was about to shoot the kids and the grandpa. Like, I think he might deserve a bonus point for that somewhere.
Or just even the picture of him just holding up the grandpa and looking back at the kids.
That grandpa might have been dead for all we know.
That is brutal.
He might have actually been dead.
Yeah.
So if I recap for everybody, I know this was a weird way that we did this, but I think it was okay to go through the categories this way. So you got a 5 for his look and style, a 5 for his hideout and his lair, a 1 for his just awful execution of his okay plan, and then a 1 for his just awful, just terrible henchman.
Yeah.
So he's got, what is this, a 12? And maybe you're going to give him another one for a bonus? I don't know.
12 out of 20. Yeah.
12 out of 20. It's not the worst.
It's not bad, but it's about the middle of the pack. He has so much potential.
He fizzled out.
So much potential.
I like this guy. He just fizzled out, man. He just fizzled out.
He had like you said, he had the attitude of an all-time villain. It's just he needed a better plan.
Let's before we wrap up here, let's just touch on the nostalgia factor.
Sure.
Were you happy you watched this? When's the last time you saw this?
Oh, probably. I feel like I watched it like maybe 15 or so years ago. So I don't know how, I don't know where, but like I accidentally came across it. I was like, oh, I'd love to watch this again because I wore the VHS tape out as a kid.
Yeah.
And then I remember thinking it didn't hold up when I watched it back then. And I feel like I enjoyed it a little more now than I did then.
I agree.
Certainly not as much as when I was a kid. But I was kind of bored by the end of it. Same with Batman and Robin. I was like, I enjoyed the first half a lot.
Same.
And right around the middle of when the kids were beating up the Home Alone style kidnappers was when I was like, all right, let's get on with it. And then when they got to the ship, I was like checked out. I was like, I'm done with this movie.
This movie was like heavy in my rotation as a kid. I mean, it's very quotable. Like I remember, vividly remember like certain aspects of this movie, like the guy's pizza outfit, some of the quotes that the kids said. Like I don't know, it just
Rocky
was so.
Loves Emily.
Yeah, exactly.
Rocky loves Emily. Yeah, that was quoted. That was quoted in my house a lot.
And when he hands him the cup after he put the X-Lax in it, what he says, like it's good. And I just remember all these little things about it. But I completely agree with you. I really enjoyed the first half, but by the second half, I was kind of like, all right, I'm kind of dragging a little bit. It was still good, and I'm glad that I watched it, but it definitely doesn't hold up as much as like a Mighty Ducks would, or some of those other movies that were in that other category. Sure. Like Mighty Ducks, even just Surf Ninjas to me I love Surf Ninjas. It's a very cult classic. That movie holds up pretty well to me.
Sure.
Maybe it's a little bit different. That's why.
I think of movies that dominated my VCR, like Turtles 1 and 2, Home Alone, this. Another movie that we mentioned earlier, Ladybugs. I watched Ladybugs a lot.
I've never actually seen it. I'll have to check it out.
I think it's a movie we can do on this show. It's one of those movies where you just can see why it's super popular to kids, especially of that time, but it doesn't have a lot of redeeming qualities for adults. It's enjoyable enough for adults one time, but second, third viewings, you're like, all right, enough of this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm glad that we did it. It's been a long time since I had a chance to watch this, and I'm glad just for Snyder itself, because I thought Snyder was great. But
he was very fun to watch.
It was a type of villain that does well on this show.
Yeah,
and for that, I'm glad that we watched it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what everyone else thinks about this movie. Have you seen it recently? Does it hold up to you guys? Did you love it when you were kids? Let us know. Write in the Last Row Podcast at gmail.com. Send us a tweet at the Last Row Pod on Twitter. Right on the Facebook page for the episode posting, facebook.com/The Last Row Pod. Same with Instagram, The Last Row Pod. Leave us a 5-star review if you're enjoying the show. Thanks to everybody that took the time to do that. And somehow, miraculously, we've maintained our release schedule. We'll be back in another 2 weeks. We're not bad fathers of the podcast. We'll be back on Thursday, August 19th. And when we say we'll be back, we promise we'll actually be back.
We'll be back.
We'll actually be back on Thursday, August 19th. And on that note, we'll see you guys next time. Sleep. Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily.